We talk about eggs like they're some necessary staple in our diet. It's just because we're so used to consuming them and we've been conditioned to believe we need them, and we've been marketed these things that come out of females' bodies. So what's wrong with eggs? I think the biggest misconception is that there is no such thing as a slaughter-free animal agriculture system. So before I became vegan many years ago, I, like so many people, believed that if I was consuming eggs and cow's milk, that there was nothing wrong with that because the animals aren't killed in order to get their secretions. In the end, as I said, there is no such thing as a slaughter-free agriculture system. The entire system depends on using the animals until they're no longer viable, until they're no longer producing at the rate at which their lives are profitable. So from the very beginning, you have males who are killed at the hatcheries. So whether we're talking about large factory farm operations or small operations, you have to start with the chicks. And at the hatcheries, where all millions of chicks are hatched, as soon as they realize they're not female, that they're male, those males are killed immediately upon birth, so that they could sell the females to the large operations and the small operations. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, of course, when we're talking about these animals' lives in factory farm operations, they have no life. They're completely confined, they're exploited, they're on top of each other. They're not there for any other reason than they're seen as machines. So, of course, people say, well, I only get free range. Well, you still haven't solved the issue of the hatcheries. And you still haven't solved the other aspect, which is on the other end, which is that when they're no longer profitable, when they're no longer producing eggs, even on small operations, they don't send them out to pasture. They are killed because it's the only way to run a business. These are businesses. These are not altruistic enterprises. So if we have a concern for animals, if we don't want to hurt animals, but we still want to enjoy food, then we can leave eggs off of our table. When people ask me how to get rid of eggs in their diet, one of my first questions to them is, in what way do you eat them? Right? So if you're using a lot of eggs for baking, of course, there are so many wonderful ways to just leave eggs completely out of the recipes. You're looking for binding and moisture and fat. You don't need chicken's eggs for that. So The Joy of Vegan Baking would be one book I would recommend, obviously, but there's so many wonderful resources out there for how to bake without chicken's eggs. If it's, you're used to having scrambled eggs, of course, now there's the vegan egg from Follow Your Heart, but of course, for years, so many of us have been enjoying tofu scramble if you want that texture, because that's what it's about. It's not about the eggs. It's about the familiarity. It's about the texture. If it's something like egg salad, I grew up on egg salad. I loved egg salad, not because I was like, yay, chicken's eggs. It's because it was familiar to me and because there was this wonderful texture with mayonnaise and it was creamy and it was easy and we could put it between two pieces of bread. So there's so many ways to make a sandwich without egg salad. I have a tofu eggless egg salad in the vegan table. I have a number of different recipes that, again, convey the same thing, give you the same results. But if you're looking for something that's high protein, of course, protein is in plants. And so you can just go to the plants for the protein, no cholesterol, much less saturated fat, no animal protein, and no exploited animals. It's a win-win situation. I talk a lot about this and more in my Food for Thought podcast, which you can find on iTunes and everywhere you listen to podcasts. And of course, you can find lots of recipes in my cookbook. So go check out ColleenPatrick-Goudreau.com.